For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hockey fans, are you ready to brave the wild? With me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Brave the Wild is available on all your favorite podcasting apps, and of course also on the Hockey Podcast Network. I thank Dylan and Kyle once and always for having myself and Brave the Wild on their great Hockey Podcast Network. Really appreciate everything about them. Dylan and Kyle, thank you guys so much, coming in out of Vancouver, British Columbia. The Minnesota Wild, well, again, it's a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. The sun's shining and all of that, which is great. The Minnesota Wild played well the last two games, but boy, there were four games to review, 4 games to preview. A couple of real doozies. Gosh, losing to the New York Rangers in a game it felt like it just couldn't finish. So St. Louis felt like we just got our butts handed to us. And then all of a sudden you beat LA and Seattle. All right, I mean, beating Seattle's one thing. The Wild have dominated them this year. The LA Kings, it felt like, pull the brooms out, they're going to sweep us. But, we ended up not getting swept by the Kings and sweeping Seattle, so the Minnesota Wild finish 2-2 this past week. Well, here we are, episode 375, and I'm doing a Chuck Woolery special. 2-2, right back at you. If you remember Love Connection from the 1990s, I believe late 80s and into the 90s, we'll be back in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. 2-2, right back at you. That was like when we were going to break, whatever. So, man, I love that guy, Chuck Woolery. He was awesome. So, God rest his soul. Oh, he was awesome. Minnesota Wild are, again, that's what it's kind of been for the longest stretch of time now. Again, you had that nice strong start to the season. Now it's like we're kind of dropping off, obviously. And I can't say slacking off. I mean, there's been a lot of injuries. And that's kind of the story of the Minnesota Wild going back to after the miracle playoff run, because guys actually stayed healthy that year. Like Brad Bombardier actually stayed healthy during that playoff run for the most part. When he got hurt, then that was kind of it pretty much. You know, guys like Brad Bombardier you think aren't important. Oh, he's important. He was very important. Key players like that. And, let's see, Kirill Kaprizov, he's kind of important. Joel Eriksson, kind of important. That doesn't mean that other guys shouldn't step up and play well. Well, finally guys scored. At least Boldy scored. But now you got Marco Rossi with a potential injury against Seattle. It just doesn't it just doesn't get better, does it? It's not going to get better if this keeps happening. It's just absolute snake bit nonsense. It's completely unfair. It's making me cry. Oh, a little bit. It is upsetting. The Minnesota Wild do lead the St. Louis Blues by 8 points, but boy, the Blues are playing a heck of a lot better. And again, shades of the Minnesota North Stars years ago, when they were trying to stay ahead of the St. Louis Blues in their final season in Bloomington, Minnesota. Much to our chagrin, as the North Stars ended up collapsing. They were kind of distracted by some off the ice business going on. A little bit distracting, I can only imagine. So, of course, we'll talk about the games a bit, but again, trying to be more topical. Again, I say that every show, because again, we're trying to evolve the show a little bit, so I'm not just looking at this and looking at that, but more of there's a kind of important conversation that's been going around now that's just popped up the last, half a day ago or so, 11 hours, 12 hours ago. The Minnesota Wild are seeking major renovations to the Xcel Energy Center, and of course, yes, there will be a different name at some point as well, like a new, lead sponsor or whatever, like naming right to the arena. So it won't be Xcel Energy Center anymore at some point. I have no idea the exact date. If some of you know, and I should know it, and I'm ignorant, well, sorry, I apologize. I'm gonna silently play, at least attempt to silently play a video. We'll probably go to an ad first because we all know how YouTube is about some upgrades. And of course, it went to some kind of ad. Shocking. And yes, I have the sound muted. I just want to see what it looks like and describe it quick, just for curiosity. Or is it it's just a broadcast? I thought there was some kind of graphic. Oh, that's helpful. Well, a look inside plans. Well, let's look at them instead of just hear what you have to say. That'd be nice. Well, maybe I could just play it audio. But, Mike Max. I love that voice.
This was built in 2000. Yeah,
okay.
This project could cost close to $1 billion before
$1 billion.
Zero. And St. Paul city leaders say it would give a big boost to the area around the X.
Hope you can hear this.
Some new renderings showing what it would look like at the Xcel Energy Center, the St. Paul River Center, and Roy Wilkins Auditorium. But like we've said, it won't come cheap. The city said the Wild is willing to
$870 million.
That's $216 million.
So yes, sorry, I just wanted to at least see something there. Okay, so that was the renovate. That was the image. It just didn't look that different to me, but okay. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a lot different to you when you go to games. Yes, just a random graphic outside the arena. It looked kind of, I don't know, just newer. I don't know, but apparently the project is $870 million. I've heard 700 this. I've heard this and that. So the state of Minnesota, $395 million. Minnesota Wild would contribute 216, and St. Paul would contribute would contribute 159. And I know everywhere you go, you're going to hear nothing but blankety blank. Why can't they pay for it themselves? And da 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 da. I know you're going to hear that forever, but let's just say there's a lot of things our taxes go to that I would love to see go bye. But I'll leave that right where it is because I'm sure a lot of you don't agree with me. But a lot of us, we're not going to all be on the same page politically. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen. So I'll just kind of see if we get some more. This is, of course, WCCO, if you know who Mike Max is, of course. He's got that classic voice. I have no problem with Mike Max. Some people like him, some people don't, but that's, again, that's the media for you. So the renovation looked, I'm going to back up and see if I can see it again, what the graphic looked like. Please. Big boost. It's a big boost. Okay, so big downtown development. So I think partially it's more than just the X to it. There's a little bit extra stuff going on. It still says Xcel Energy Center in the image, which is funny. And it does look more, 2020s, 2030s look. If 2030s exist, I don't know. They don't exist yet, but it looks more like today rather than 2000, because 2000, believe it or not, is 25 years ago. So I can understand, again, the Minnesota Wild side of it, and it's just kind of how it goes. It's 25 years old. Hard to believe it's such a well-made arena. It wasn't kind of half-assed like the Metrodome. A lot of people thought that was half-assed pretty much right out of the get-go, because it kind of was. It was just kind of like there, and to be quite frank, Met Stadium was half-assed. It was built for the Minneapolis Millers, wasn't it? Wasn't it built for the Minneapolis Millers, like a minor league building? So, like, the stands were all kind of, it was like the area, like the main part of the stands was pretty small because it was supporting a minor league baseball team, and then they had to add all this kind of erector set to build enough seats to support a major league baseball team, and then a National Football League team. And it was still shaped like a baseball stadium, so there were so many bad seats for football. Like, you're like 100 miles away, basically. Like, oh, look at those little purple dots. They're going up against those blue dots. I think we're playing Detroit today. Or it's like this white with Honolulu blue stripe look, kind of. It's a little dot you can barely see. I mean, you might as well play that little 70s game with the little red dots going up against each other. The little 70s football game from, was it Mattel? It's basically the same thing. That's probably where they got that idea. Probably, like, where buildings, like, some of those older buildings where you're up in the nosebleeds. Gosh, get your oxygen tank. You might not be able to, it might not be enough oxygen how far away you are. Okay, I'm just kidding. Sort of. We're like Xcel Energy Center, I mean, you're right on top of hockey, even if you're in the upper deck. It's fantastic. Target Center, not so much. Of course, the lower bowl was much smaller than the upper bowl, which was a mistake. Yeah, it's a mistake. Even though I know we're sick and tired of, 99% of us, it feels like can't afford lower bowl, unless that's all you want to pay for basically in your life is going to games. I don't think I can live that way. I'd like to, but I'd like to go to, well, then again, I don't like being around crowds, so there's that. No, I don't. But for other people, though, that actually like being around, that don't mind being around crowds, yeah, you might get tired of like obviously the whole thought of, well, you have to be rich to even go to games anyway, and that type of thing, like lower bowl. But well, that's unfortunately how the team makes money. So that's kind of how it works, the renovation and such. So that's where Target Center made a mistake. And of course, I talked about the dome and even going back to the old Met. Not that I'm old enough to remember going to a game at the Met, though it did exist when I was born in 1979. But I never had the pleasure of attending a Twins or Vikings game. Of course, the Twins moved to the Met.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm in 82, so that would make me 3, or turning 3 in that summer. So anyhow, I think I've talked enough about buildings and arenas, but I suppose, again, we're again trying to be a little more topical here instead of just, Boldy scored and Zuccarello assisted, that kind of thing. So trying my best to not be as, I think it's a little bit on the boring side at times, I'm sure, even though it is good to talk about games and comment and about them and the pluses and minuses and such. But, we'll see. I don't agree with a lot of you out there that, think that it's just like the dumbest, stupidest thing ever to have to pay a tax or two for a building. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to pay taxes either. I gotcha. But at the same time, again, when you look at where our taxes are going to, I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of what's been going on for many years with that. But I'll get off of that right now. I think I've made my point more than once. But the Wild, again, a 3-2 loss to the New York Rangers last, this was Friday, wasn't it? So, yes. No, Thursday. This was Thursday. It's a while back. A 3-2 loss, a game that just felt like, really? That's the best you guys got? Gustafsson did stop 28 of 31 shots, so we appreciated that and everything. Hartman has been playing pretty well since coming back from his suspension. I don't know. That doesn't mean I want to keep him. By the way, I do apologize and my voice sounds a little bit annoying. Yeah, I had a bout with food poisoning, basically Monday night, basically you can say, from something I ate for like lunch around 11:30 to noonish on Monday morning-ish, you could say, Monday morning leading into lunch, like afternoon, whatever. Yeah, I basically ate something old. Yeah, old. Gross. Yeah, and I didn't know it was old until it was too late. And, yeah, so I threw up a lot on Monday, and it hurt my voice. It still hurts. Yeah, it's still kind of, it's kind of weird, that it's still affecting me, but I suppose. Okay, I got that disgusting information out. I apologize. Gustav Nyquist with a rare point, as he appears to be somebody that, I don't know. He's been described as cooked locally, like Judd's Hockey Show and other parts of Score North and such. I kind of tend to agree. I haven't seen a whole lot, though. You did see some nice scoring chances from Gustav Nyquist that didn't provide a whole lot against the Seattle Kraken. But you saw some moments, but again, it looked like a guy that's just, I don't know, maybe he can't do it anymore. That type of thing. Jared Spurgeon did muster a couple of assists versus the Rangers, and we appreciate it. And Freddie Gaudreau's been one of the better players on the team for a while here. So, again, this whole post-Four Nations Cup tournament type of thing, if you can call it a tournament, Gaudreau's been one of the best players on the team, basically. One of the best skaters, but I would have to say the best player has been Philip Gustafsson, no doubt. Even though it's not like he's been perfect or anything. He gets beat sometimes, but overall I think he's had a hell of a season. Continuing quickly. So 4 games to review, 4 games to preview. New York, St. Louis, Los Angeles, Seattle. And then we have Buffalo, Dallas, Vegas, and Washington coming up. Washington. The St. Louis game. Oh, boy. Well, the Minnesota Wild got booed off the ice at the end of this one, and well-deserved. Jordan Kyrou was able to get a hat trick in this one, including the final goal of the game, which was a empty netter. That was the hat trick right there. Just kind of like rubbing it in our face, basically. It felt like it, even though I'm sure it wasn't meant that way. It just felt like it. It's just an awful game. Overall, just like blimpity bleep. Like, you're down 3-0 to St. Louis. St. Louis is, to be fair, they're playing better. Did any of us really see St. Louis as this huge threat, like they're going to be something this year? I don't know. I really kind of didn't. So I'm not sure what to think. Obviously, there's some solid players on the St. Louis Blues for a while now. Joel Hofer was in that, where Binnington had been a bit of a problem. But really, the reason why the Wild were booed is the fact that the Wild barely even tested Joel Hofer. 18 shots on goal, that's pathetic. That's garbage. Like, St. Louis dominated the puck. They won face-offs, like Braden Shen won 10, lost 4. I mean, they were all winning. Like 8-4 over here for Robert Thomas. 7-6 for Radek Faksa, not Falska, Faksa. Probably not saying it right. The Wild were losing in basically everywhere except for Vinny Hinostroza, 2-1, or two wins, 1 loss, basically. Good for him. Harmon was beat pretty good. Devon Shore was even in the face-off circle, I suppose. 5-5 there. Good for him. And I know we don't need to look at face-off stats all the time, but this game sucked. This game absolutely sucked. Jake Middleton was able to get the puck in the net, and we felt great. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? This was awful. Don't really want to talk too much about this game other than just how, it was a lifeless, frustrating, like, I guess this is who we are type of game. That's what it felt like. And then obviously people were all over the place talking about firing Bill Guerin. I understand the conversation. I understand the frustration. I'm not ready to fire Bill Guerin, but I'm definitely not a Billy Goat at this point. For the longest time, it's like, yeah, I like Bill Guerin. I like what he's doing. Not a cult member, so to speak, for Bill Guerin. I'm not a Billy Goat, but at the same time, like cult following type of thing. I guess you could say not cult member, but... But yeah, I mean, does he deserve to be questioned? Of course, especially because, or not because like he's drafting poorly, but because just kind of like, I don't know, free agency. What the hell, man? Why do you keep bringing back the same guys who have done nothing? You keep bringing back the same guys who've done nothing. I know this sounds like a broken record to like many shows the last 2-3 years now. They've done nothing. Foligno, Hartman have never won a damn thing. You keep bringing guys like that back. Spurgeon has it. He's one of the few guys that goes back to the Wild actually winning a playoff series. That's a long time ago, and he was actually a nice part of it, believe it or not. Which the St. Louis Blues was the last series we won. Of course, the year before, Colorado. Spurgeon was a part of that team, and he was a factor. But that was a long bleeping time ago. That was a decade ago. So that's a long time to be like not getting out of the first round. So yeah, conversation there. That's where Bill Guerin definitely deserves questioning. Is why do you keep acquiring these older players that don't really, I don't know, have never really done anything? Like, yay, they might put up stats. Yay, Foligno might knock a guy's face in or something. Good for him. And he's having a good year statistically, analytically, all of that. Again, good for him. But, and there's, Marco Rossi's injury, apparently lower body. I couldn't tell exactly what happened. But, see here. Let's see. Oh, there it is again. Looks maybe an ankle? I think so. Okay. I think it's an ankle if it's lower body. Yeah. Kind of got pushed down and just went down in a heap. So we'll see. That one's kind of like a uncertain type of thing. It's not like, oh crap, we'll see you next year or anything. So it's probably not anything super serious, we hope. But probably not good either. That was versus Seattle last night. Let's move on to a little more positivity here. The Los Angeles Kings, again, apologize. My voice probably sounds annoying, and I apologize. Kind of like whiny sounding almost. So I apologize. And I'm sure a lot of us were pissed off and frustrated when the Kings scored 5 minutes into the game. Adrian Kempe on the power play. 29th goal of the year, by the way. The Kings obviously having a strong season. Kempe having a huge year. Another power play given up. What a shocker. Fiala and Drew Doughty, all huge names for the LA Kings. Scoring on that one. But that'd be it. Thank you, Philip Gustafson, stopping the next 28 shots. Well, not 28 shots, but yeah, stopping basically 28 shots in this one. I'm sure the Kings had a few shots on net before that, but just saying. Stopping the next 20-plus shots, and that was it. Awesome performance by Philip Gustafson. Also, a potential game-saving save by John Merrill. John Merrill deflecting a shot at the last second on a sure goal. Looked like it was going to, it looked like it almost for sure was going to be a goal. I forgot who it was now. Was it Kopitar? I can't remember who had the puck for the Kings, but it looked like a sure goal. Like, for sure that was going to go in. And great stop. It could have been Kempe again, actually. But John Merrill basically coming in and knocking it away at the last second. Awesome. Awesome play. John Merrill, thank you very much. You know, that could have obviously made the game different right there. But the Minnesota Wild gradually pull away. Hartman again, a multi-point game. Good for him. Zuccarello with what was the game winner. And Johansson. Yep, Johansson from the other side of St. Paul basically was able to score his 7th goal of the year. Empty net. Thank you for the accuracy. Really appreciate that because it was a long. It was basically full rink shot basically by Marcus Johansson. So appreciate the accuracy. It's just sad. 7 goals all year. Yuck. That's not much. Not much for a top 6 guy. And I know he's not getting paid that great. So it's not like we're expecting him to be this 30-point guy or 30-goal player. But pretty mediocre for somebody in your top 6 like almost the whole damn season. So it's extremely frustrating at the end of the day when you think about that. But still, a gutty, solid performance. Again, nice defense. Only 21 shots on Darcy Kemper. That's not great. But 2 actual goals on Darcy Kemper, and we appreciate them very much in a big way. Nyquist, again, I don't know. I mean, he had 0 shots on goal, didn't he? Not too good. Hartman was phenomenal in the net. 13 wins, 6 losses. That's phenomenal. Goudreau, 7-11. He actually lost. Wow. Goudreau's one of the best guys in the faceoff circle. I know, it's just like, faceoffs are important, though. You got to win faceoffs if you're going to win games against teams like the LA Kings. And, well, Hartman was good. Everyone else was kind of, in mediocre. Byfield, very impressive. 8-3, or is that 8-9? I can't see the number. That's a 9. Okay, I thought it was 8-3. So not that great. 8-9. But again, a nice, solid, gutty win by the Minnesota Wild, escaping against the LA Kings. Huge surprise there. You think, okay, well, why can't you beat St. Louis or New York? One of those two. Just win one of those two so you can have a 3-in-1 week. But no, you couldn't. You just couldn't. You scored 3 goals in 2 games there. You sons of biscuits. And the Wild mustered 4 goals against a below-average Seattle team. They do have 30 wins, so they're not garbage. 30, 35, and 5. But obviously, it's a possibility to lose to the Seattle Kraken. But I don't know. Phil Grubauer, like I've always talked about, very beatable goaltender. Only gave up 3 goals in this game. Again, the empty netter for Boldy was his 2nd goal of the game. Boldy, who had again been completely invisible, basically, since this Four Nations Cup, Four Nations Tournament. Rossi, who's been quiet since then as well. Faber, who's been a -11, which is insane. Or who was a -11 leading up to a couple days ago. I think he's like a -10 now since then. Yep, he's definitely struggled. What did he have, like 1 assist, I think, since then? Or no, 2 assists. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. But it's definitely been a huge struggle for Brock Faber. And as good as he is, he's not perfect, obviously. He's going to have his flaws. He's going to have his mediocre days. And this was, or mediocre runs, and this is one of them. So I guess he's even for the year now, which is un-Faber-like. Usually he's plus 24 points on the season. So definitely not the numbers you saw last year. Faber might be closer to 30 points this year versus 47 last year. So definitely disappointing, and it doesn't help when there's just not a whole lot else going on out there with the defensemen. There's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of puck movement out there. And the defensemen have been kind of oft injured. No Brodin, that definitely hurts. Like Faber with Brodin, I think, is a huge thing. When they can play together, Faber's able to maybe step up a little bit more because Brodin's such a phenomenal defenseman when he's freaking healthy, which is not enough. He's not healthy enough. Somehow Bogo got 2 assists, so it was like buy one, get one, just like his name, Bogo. Either we bought one and got one. So nice to see Bogo get a multi-assist game, which is pretty rare. You saw Liam Ogren on a break, which was great. And he was able to finish on the feed from Freddie Gaudreau. Nice feed. And Liam Ogren, again, burying the shot that he was granted, again, by getting out on the break by himself. And, yeah, luckily the puck was across the line before anything there, so there was no offsides, of course. Gustav Nyquist able to get a second assist, at least in this one, so appreciate that. For Gustav Nyquist, at least able to move the puck to Gaudreau and all of that. So since not a whole lot else is going on for the Goose, the Goose is cooked. You knew that was coming, didn't you? You knew it. Boldy, again, nice goal, 23rd of the season, and was also able to get his 24th on the empty netter, which puts Boldy at now 58 points. He did have 69 last year, despite his ups and downs. So there is, like his overall statistics are nice. It's just the inconsistencies that come with. It's just that's the frustration, is the inconsistency. Because Boldy, you can see a talent level of probably an 80-point guy, but the fact that he's so dang up and down, that's what's been hurting him. Remember the March of Boldy episode two years ago, and he had an incredible month of March, and then right after that, he stopped. It was like, here comes April and into the postseason. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how many points did he have? Like, maybe 5 after that? It was ridiculous. Like, combined. It was like, what happened? Stop doing a Charlie Coyle, damn it. But, like, on paper, Boldy obviously looks like a very promising player. 63 points during that March of Boldy season, 22 and 23. Again, he had the phenomenal month of March to get to 63 points. But okay, 30 goals. There you go. And last year he didn't even get 30 goals, but he did have 40 assists. That's where the progress came. So 69 points. This year, similar in terms of, he's at 24 goals. I don't know why it's not showing it. Or is it the stats backwards? I have no idea. But 58 points for Matt Boldy, 35 assists, and 23 goals. So maybe that 24 is a flaw there, and I apologize for that. But 58 points on pace for similar numbers to last season, basically, which is kind of frustrating because of these stupid quiet stretches. He should be on pace for like 75, 80, you think, but I guess not. I don't know. It's still possible, but very unlikely. I don't think he's going to get to 80 points. 70 would be great. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. He's going to have to be red hot, I think, to get there, as we're already at March 20th. So, welcome to spring, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. So, spring is what it's all about. Yes, David Juracek is on the roster, but he's a scratch, which is annoying. And Foligno's obviously been hurt. Brodin's hurt. And, of course, Mr. Kirill Kaprizov. Is he hurt? I couldn't tell. Yeah, he's hurt. He's been out since 1987, so we miss him. We'd love to have him on the roster again, and it'd be great. But the Wild win 4-0, and we appreciate it. The Mike McDonough Award winner for this particular episode is going to Philip Gustafson. There's no doubt about that. The James Shepard Memorial is Jakub Trenin. Yeah, Jakub Trenin. He had a breakaway all by himself and lost the puck. He didn't even get a shot on that, but I guess it kind of counted, and Derek will have a funny thought about that one as well. Yeah, it's just, in the fan interaction segment. Oh, what the heck. I mean, he couldn't even get the shot off particularly, but I guess it kind of went on net because it came off of something. I don't know, as he lost the puck, it still kind of managed to bump the goalie's pad, if I remember correctly. That would be Philip Grubauer. So, yes, Jakub Trenin on the break. What a shocker. He didn't score. That was just mean. It was mean. It was a mean tweet. Yep, you'll hear about that too. God, unbelievable. So, see, it's moves like that. That's where Bill Guerin should be questioned. What the bleep are you doing? What the bleep? What are you doing?
Like, what the fuck? Okay?
Yes, Michael Russo, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'll let Michael Russo say the naughty word for this one. Oh, boy. But, yep, that's my thoughts, I suppose, during this course of the week and going into the, possible arena talk. We'll see. I mean, who knows how many freaking years that'll take to even, get started. Obviously, there's going to be a ton of resistance. Everybody's going to complain and say, no. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. And I know, it's becoming more of a publicly funded or privately funded type of thing. It would be nice if they could pull that off. It'd be nice if they could get people together to work on it and get it done. Maybe it should happen. Obviously, it'd be nice if the state could help a tiny bit. I don't know, like maybe a smaller amount. I don't know. The city of St. Paul, a smaller amount. But no, we don't want to help billionaires, or we don't want to help multimillionaires and billionaires. We don't want to help the. Okay, fine. I got it. I've heard that about 100 million times. I've probably heard that more often than dollars that these people have. It's ridiculous. So that's, I don't know. It's kind of a boring conversation at the end of the day. Well, other conversation, brief thing. I mean, Kuznetsov, again, that's another thing you could get frustrated with, some of these trades. Bill Guerin's made good trades. You know, you had Kevin Fiala for Brock Faber and possibly Liam Ogren, who might end up being something. He had a great week during the course of, during his time in the AHL, and then comes up to Minnesota and ends up scoring. So, wonderful. He's been doing really well. So, if Ogren and Faber both pan out, like Faber's been panning out pretty well, and Ogren heads in the direction he appears to be going, that could be a great trade. Guerin's made some good trades, but then you get ones like the Kuznetsov and whoever the heck this Brezzo guy is. I don't know what you're doing, honestly. But odds are Kuznetsov wasn't going to resign. It felt like just whatever it wasn't working. I don't know if it's the Wild system. I don't know if it's, who knows, but, or if it's just kind of like luck right now in Boston, just a lucky start, and then, you know, he'll still be at 2 goals like next year. He's looking for his 3rd goal with the Boston Bruins, and it's like New Year's Day, 2026. You never know. That could be what happens, but I got a feeling Kuznetsov's going to end up being at least a decent player for the Boston Bruins. Probably better than he was here. And I don't know, sometimes trades wake players up. Look at Karl Anthony Towns, this and that, and I know that's kind of an annoying conversation also. It's extremely annoying. I hate it, actually. Like, go away. I'm tired of it. So, everybody sucks when they're here and they're better everywhere else. I'm tired of hearing about that, but I suppose that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. With that, we'll take a quick break and come back and preview the upcoming games and look at the prospects in segment number 2. Back here on Brave the Wild. What segment is this? Segment number 2. We're going to look at the upcoming games against the Buffalo Sabres, Dallas Stars, Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, and not Washington. It's just 3 games. I keep forgetting Washington is Thursday, so that would be next week's show. So we will not be talking about the Ovechkin record-breaking stuff. I don't know. Well, goal scoring anyway. He's not better than Gretzky, but I think most of you know that already. I think 99% of you already know that. He's not better than Gretzky. Come on, guys. Don't even start. So, at the end of the day, before we start the previews and getting into the heart of segment number 2, we're going to hear from DraftKings now. Hey, basketball fans, are you ready to win real money? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 dunks on its rivals, including prize picks. Just select 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like points, rebounds, 3-pointers, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and more. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6 and cash in your basketball knowledge. New players get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just $5 entry. Wow. Download the Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available from Problem Gambling, or for Problem Gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at Pick 6 draft .draftkings.com/promos. And thank you very much, Pick 6. Really appreciate you. Pick 6 DraftKings anyway. Really appreciate you, DraftKings. Of course, you got NCAA tournament basketball starting today. That's nice. Looking forward to NCAA tournament hockey, but not yet. We get to sit and wait for like 50 years and just watch the Gophers lose in the first or second round because they can't put 2 games together for their life. They're not going to win the national. If they win the national championship, I'm going to be stunned beyond belief, and I hope they frickin' do. Maybe these extra weeks off will get their heads out of their ass. Like Bobby Knight might say, you better get your head out of your ass. Yeah, they better. They can't put 2 flipping games together. That's what I'm sick of with the Gophers this year. 3rd, 4th in the nation, that's great, but you can't even put 2 games together. You might as well be the 16th best team if you're going to do that. But I'm not mad at all. No, I'm not mad. I'm totally fine. Didn't piss me off at all. Buffalo Sabres. Playing the Buffalo Sabres often pisses us off, too. Apparently the Boston Celtics have been sold for some record amount of money. Well, it's the Boston Celtics. What do you expect? What do they have? 18 NBA championships? Yeah. Oh, is that all? 18 championships? Nah, it's okay. Thank God they have more than the Lakers. I'm glad. I think we're all sick of that nonsense. Come on, where'd it go? Here we go. Whoa, that was that much? Okay, see, now I'm actually seeing the amount. Bill Guerin, just like our, it's probably pronounced different, Chris Holm, agrees to buy Celtics for $6.1 billion. $6.1 billion. The largest sale for a sports franchise in North America. Until tomorrow, when this other team is sold for 7.8 or something, and it's like the Florida Panthers or something. No, it won't be the Florida Panthers. I wonder what the Yankees are worth. Probably like 11 or something ridiculous. New York Yankees. Can you imagine what they're worth? Just imagine. Or even the frickin' Rangers. New York Knicks. What are they worth? But no, we'll get off of that. Maybe those owners aren't going to be in a huge rush to sell them because I don't know. Why would you sell a New York team? Why would you sell a Boston team? You just won an NBA title. Why'd you sell them? What are you doing? I don't know. It's their choice. It's too stressful, dang it. Can't deal with it. Injury report. Minnesota versus the Buffalo Sabres. This is Saturday, March 22nd. Couple days off. Great. Great. So we can... Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, a 1 p.m. game in Xcel Energy Center against the Buffalo Sabres. Oh, I think you know what I'm thinking, don't you? Like 4-1 loss. 2-1, just boring as hell. 1-0 loss. 2-1 loss. Oh my God, boring as hell. Doesn't it just? Don't you just feel that happening? I hope not. Marcus Johansson also, did not play versus Seattle, but that's the only information they have. Marco Rossi did not return versus Seattle. Lower body looked like an ankle. Marcus Foligno did not play on Wednesday's 19th game. So, and then of course Kaprizov, Brodin, Jules-Arsenault, 19 other bleeping players. And this guy stubbed his toe, and we'll see. We'll see. We're going to reevaluate him in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's just, oh my God, it's so frustrating. This guy tripped over his kid's like toy car, and he's week to week. Oh my God, yeah, that's what it feels like. It's so bleeping frustrating. Team comparisons: the Buffalo Sabres are 13th in goals somehow. Good for them, but they give up like 1,000 goals. That's the problem. So their offensive team, 13th in goals. The Wild are 23rd. The Minnesota and Buffalo are pretty much opposites here. Buffalo's 28th in goals against. The Wild are 11th. Thank you, Philip Gustafson. Minnesota did win 1-0, boring as bleep game on Drinksgiving, I guess it was, because that's November 27th, because Thanksgiving was late this last year, and just like Easter this year is really late. So, yes, Saturday, March 22nd. Anyhow, power play, Buffalo's 27th, the Wild are 20th. Yay. Penalty kill, Buffalo's 23rd, the Wild are 30th. Yuck. Buffalo gets the most penalties of anybody in the National Hockey League. 32nd in the league, 725. The Wild are 13th. Thank you, John Hines, for being more even keel. 526. Again, this is the season wrap-up. Can the Wild sweep the Buffalo Sabres? You hope so, but they've had a couple of good games. They put a few good games together. A few, anyway. Yeah, they beat the biggest Golden Knights. That's incredibly impressive. Alex Tuck bearing his former team in the shootout. Good job, man. 4-3 over the Golden Knights. Impressive. 3-2 win over the Boston Bruins. They've won 2 in a row, and they also beat the Edmonton Oilers. Holy crap! But they then also shut out by the Florida Panthers and got annihilated by Detroit 7-3. So a couple of weird back and forth battles, but Buffalo's 3-2 in their last 5, which could pose a little bit of a threat here. We'll see what happens. Buffalo's injury report: Yuri Kulich did not play against Boston on March 17th. Josh Norris, same thing. These are centers. JJ Peterka, same thing. Again, did not play against Boston. Okay, thanks for the information. It's really detailed and all that. Really appreciate it. Again, he just didn't play. That's all. He didn't play. There's nothing to do with that. Okay, never mind. Let's get off of the jokes here. Sorry. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen rolls right off your tongue. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but we'll see. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. UPL. 3.16 goals against average, 2 shutouts, save percentage of 88.8. Awesome. My brother would have loved that because he always joked about 88. Tage Thompson, former St. Louis Blue. I'm choking to death here. 34 goals on the year, impressive. But only 25 assists, giving his number total to 59, plus 4 for the Buffalo Sabres. Rasmus Dahlin staying healthy. Good for you, Rasmus, and knock on wood. Good for you, Rasmus, because when he's healthy, he's awesome. 58 games, 12 goals, 40 assists. You know, numbers that we wish we could have got from Dumba, but no, pectoral injury. Next thing you know, he's John Merrill, basically. He's basically John Merrill. Really, you know. Rasmus Dahlin plus 5. Alex Tuch is a plus 11. Wow, that's actually really impressive. 66 games, 50 points for the Tuckster. 26 goals, which is second on the team behind Double T, Tage Thompson. 50 points. Good for you, Alex. Would love to have you on the Minnesota Wild. This Jordan Greenway guy. Did he get traded, though? 31 games for Buffalo, 8 points. He is on the Buffalo Sabres. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Keep getting mixed up and all this, like, old talk about, he's there, you know. Jordan Greenway's on the... Why did I click on that? Now I screwed everything up for the future games. Of course they did. Oh, boy. I'll have to get back to that in a minute. But overall, what's going to happen in this one? I'd like to believe the Minnesota Wild win this game, and they're going to have to because you got Dallas and Vegas coming up. They're going to have to win this game. I mean, you have to win this game, period. You can't come out with this slack-jawed garbage that you've been doing in these matinee games at home versus Buffalo versus, you know, whatever. You know, like when Edmonton used to suck, you know, years ago. Back in the day. Like, how many times did we lose to, like, a crappy Edmonton team on a matinee weekend game? And then Edmonton's this epic, like, great team. And, we beat them. Woohoo! You know, and it was always like that. It's just weird. Like, when Edmonton's bad, they beat us. When they're good, we beat them. Well, sometimes. Of course, now I bet Edmonton who knows what would happen. Edmonton's been all over the place, but when they're good, they're insane. Minnesota has to win this game. So I just step out in faith here. 3-2 win by the Minnesota Wild. 3-2 win by the Minnesota Wild. Matt Boldy. The March of Boldy continues. The March of Boldy. Hopefully he got his head out of somewhere. Again, with the multi-goal game versus Seattle, I can build some confidence. And he will at least have he'll have a multi-point, 1 goal, 1 assist type of game, which reserves the right to a multi-goal game because it's multi-point. But I'm just guessing 1 goal, 1 assist. The Wild win 3-2 over the Buffalo Sabres. Go us. March 24th, happy birthday, Paul Tuniverse Caniff against the Dallas frickin' Stars. Oh, goody gumdrops. Yeah, ouch. Second place in the Central, 43-21-3. Yeah, they're tough. They're in the single digits in a lot of statistics. It's great. Injury report, Nils Lundqvist, placed him on injured reserve at Feb 1st. Miro Heiskanen, this is a big one. So, very big one right here. Oh, wow. Yeah, he's out until at least the opening round of the postseason. So, Heiskanen, that's bad news. The Stars said on Thursday, March 18th, that Heiskanen will probably be unavailable for the opening round of the playoffs. So maybe they will lose in the first round after all. We'll see. I'm just kidding. But yeah, he's been out since late January. But yeah, this was the announcement just a day ago here, and there was a conversation all over the place. Tyler Sagan, we've heard of him a couple times. Long-term IR, dating back to Feb of 20. Well, yeah, it started way back at the end of or beginning of December, but there was an announcement in late February. Injured reserve, but it started skating back in Texas. And this was back on Feb 25th. So we'll see. Goals for the Dallas Stars, 5th in the NHL in goals, 4th in goals against. Jeez. Power play 15th, penalty kill 2nd, just like in the North Star days. They had a great penalty kill. Remember, the last few years the North Stars were here? Great penalty kill. Lime and tomato juice.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That. That's like my little toast when I have a tomato juice. Oh, it's so delicious. I love tomato juice. I do. I'm probably in the minority, but God, I love tomato juice. Great penalty kill, though. Sucks that it's the Dallas Stars, and not the North Stars. But anyhow, penalty minutes, they're 3rd, so they're good about staying out of the box. Even their shooting percentage is 4th in the league. Remember when we thought this was a beatable team? Remember? And we even beat them in OT on Friday, December 27th. Late Merry Christmas to us there. And early not Thanksgiving, Saturday, November 16th, a 2-1 loss. So these have been lower scoring games because both teams have good goalies. You know, Philip Gustafsson and, of course, Ottinger has been fantastic, and he's a Minnesota native. We appreciate him very much. He's one of the better goalies out there. Monday, 24th, again, happy 45th birthday, right, to Paul Caniff, my friend there. Monday, March 24th. Sunday, April 6th is the season wrap-up. So who knows, will the Minnesota North Stars beat the Dallas Stars in the season series? Probably be the first time ever, I think, in franchise history. Because, I mean, didn't we, not win in Dallas from, pre-9/11, the 9/11 until, just 3-4 years ago? It was, nuts. Think about that. That is messed up, man. Talk about Dallas owning Minnesota and how they owned our hockey team and stuff. You can't take our country, and you can't take our game. Yeah, well, Dallas took our team, and they didn't take our state, but they took our team. Bastards. Yeah, bastards, you took our team there, you know. Okay, sorry. Yeah, they did. It sucks. Dallas actually has been struggling. That's good for us. They even lost to Anaheim recently. How about that? That was a shocker. 5-4 loss to Edmonton. 4-1 win over Vancouver. 4-1 loss to Winnipeg. 4-3 loss to Colorado. Those are tough matchups. Let's be honest. Yeah, but a 4-3 loss to the Anaheim Ducks, which rumor has it, Paladino Joey might be attending that game. That's a rumor. We'll see. But it's a rumor. And we're just going to leave it right there. It's just a rumor. And if I attended, I attended. And I'm not telling you when the last time I attended a hockey game because, let's just say I like the confines of being at home. And, HD makes things a lot better. I like studying games at home rather than being around a bajillion people and, taking forever to get there and taking forever to get out, that kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, that's how I roll. Unless I have a press pass or something. But, we'll see what happens. It's just a rumor, though. Yeah, that's the Anaheim game. I believe that's the season finale, at least in the X. Before it's called the, God knows what, the Xfinity. It'll still be called the X then, the Xfinity Center, right? Wouldn't that be funny? Xfinity Center, or we could call it the Yeti. Since they've been giving away, was it like Yeti Cups or whatever? Since they've been giving those away, Yeti Cup Arena, Yeti Cup Center. Since they can't call them the Yeti in Utah because of that. It's just so complicated, Anyhow, Dallas Stars. Let's keep moving. I'm making a moron of myself here. Jake Ottinger, 2.55 goals against average, which seems high for him. Save percentage 90.6. Yeah, he didn't have a great start to the year. Only one shutout. Casey DeSmith, didn't he? Actually, wasn't he like the goalie that shut us down earlier in the year? It was him, wasn't it? I think so, or at least I know he did a few years. I'm getting confused because I know he's had a couple of good games against us. That Casey DeSmith, Matt Duchene has really woken up. He's back to being the Matt Duchene of many years ago. Going back to Colorado, if I remember correctly, he was good years ago. 68 points in 67 games. Nice. I hate the Stars with a passion, but that's impressive. I just got to say it. I don't like Jason Robertson either, but it is what it is. Seems like he's always got our number. It's annoying. I know he's kind of like takes it personal with Kaprizov getting the Calder years ago. But sorry, dude. Jason Robertson leads the Stars in goals, and only 1 point behind Matt Duchene with 67. I remember Robertson had a down year last year, but boy, he's woken up again. Point-to-game guy, not like dominant, not like 100 points, but still pretty good. Mikhail Granlund was traded to the Stars not long ago. 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points in 16 games. Sam Steele is still there, 65 games, 6 goals and 14 assists, 20 points. Tyler Seguin's only played in 19 games, but extremely efficient. But out forever, though, unfortunately for him. 20 points in 19 games. That's awesome. It's just, out. Heskinen, who knows if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yeah, it is Heskinen. Yep, 5 goals, 20 assists. Of course, I know who the heck he is. He's one of the better, best players on the team, obviously. 5 goals, 20 assists, 25 points. Great player, obviously, but could be a big loss for the Stars. Well, is a big loss for the Stars going into the, postseason. It's a long wait. Mikko Rantanen, acquired by the Stars around trade deadline. 5 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, and 4 total points. Good for him. Matt Dumba has 7 points in 48 games. Matt Dumba, the Dallas Star, -5. 48 games, 1 goal, 6 assists. And like I was saying, that's John Merrill-ish numbers. It just is. I'm sorry to say it. It's just being honest. It is what it is. I mean, and he was a lot closer to being like a Rasmus Dahlin at one point, like 50-point, 60-point kind of guy. Then that stupid pectoral happened, and, the rest is history, and it's sad. Stars will beat the Minnesota Wild because they always do. This one's in Dallas. Holy cow. Yep, that's the Stars coming, by the way. That's, unfortunately. Yep. Yeah, I know. I would love to believe that this train is like the Minnesota Wild going into Dallas, but unfortunately I think it's the Wild, or I think it's the Stars coming at us when we're in Dallas. A final score, maybe it's going to be a funky game. I don't know, like 4-2. That's not really funky. That's like a classic hockey score right there, but 4-2 type of deal. Most likely guy to score is going to be, I don't even know if Rosie's healthy. Like, who's next? Why don't we just... Who's next? Devin Shore? Yeah, Devin Shore's going to score. I don't know. Who's left? It's just... I don't know. Jake Middleton? Maybe Jake Middleton will score a goal on this one. Why not? He's definitely factored offensively. And is... when healthy, obviously, he's living up to his contract a lot better than I originally thought. Like, when I was bitching about his contract, well, when it was like, whoa, they gave him how much again? That's actually not a bad deal at the end of the day, considering how good Middleton is. It might not be a great deal, but it's not bad. It's not like $9 million a year or anything, but let's not give Mr. Bill Guerin any ideas, though, because that could be the next thing that happens, a $9 million defenseman who, isn't a $9 million defenseman, basically. But Stars win 4-2. Middleton is the likely guy to score. Back-to-back versus the Vegas Golden Knights. This one is in Xcel Energy Center. Will it be... Maybe this will be Marc-Andre Fleury. I think you want Gustafsson versus the Stars and hope for the best. Marc-Andre Fleury versus his former club. I believe, is this the last one? And why not? Yeah, last game versus Vegas. So it'll be it's his last opportunity to play against the Vegas Golden Knights, who do lead the season series 2-1. Surprise, surprise. We used to own this team, believe it or not, even though they've always been good, except for their fourth year or so. They missed the playoffs. 5th year. Yeah, they've been around a few years already. They've been around. 5th year they missed the playoffs. After winning the Stanley Cup. It was weird, right? That was just last year they missed the playoffs. So we're totally better now. They beat the Wild, the Stars. God, about 33 years late on that one. Sunday, December 15th, 3-2 and 33 years late. Yeah, they beat the Wild 3-2 and then a 4-1 butt kicking pretty much in Vegas on January 12th. I'm guessing again Marc-Andre Fleury on Tuesday, March 25th will be in net for this one, and why the heck not? Raphael Lavoie, injured reserve as of March 8th. Shea Theodore, very familiar name, week to week, but wore a non-contact jersey on Tuesday, March 18th. Interesting. William Karlsson, again an original member of that, what were they called, the Misfits or something? Yeah, that was a really nice team though. Karlsson remains an injured reserve, but is getting close to returning per Jesse Granger of The Athletic. He's been out since January 23rd. Vegas is 6th in goals, 8th in goals against, 5th in assists, which I don't mention much, 2nd in the NHL in power play, 22nd in penalty kill, number 1 in the league at staying out of the box, first 379 penalty minutes only. Good for them. Discipline, and that's what helped them beat the Florida Panthers. Unfortunately, though, the Vegas Golden Knights have struggled of late. They are 1-4 in their last 5, so maybe the Wild pull off a nice one here. This will be in the X, so we'll see. Los Angeles, yep, they lost to LA, lost to Pittsburgh. What the heck? They beat Columbus 4-0, okay. Yep, then there was the shootout, lost to Buffalo, and got shut out by the Detroit Red Wings. Wow. After that shootout loss to Buffalo, they get there's a back-to-back, and they get shut out by the Detroit Red Wings. They haven't played since March 16th. They probably needed a break after that. Oof. Yikes. That's rough, man. That is rough. See if I got to get this out because I messed things up earlier when I went to, what's his name? Jordan Greenway, out of curiosity to see how he's, I kept forgetting if he actually got traded, but no, he didn't. Why would anybody... anyhow, we'll get off that. Jack Eichel, 66 games, 80 points, 59 assists. That's a lot. Good for him. Mark Stone, 53 games, 58 points. All right. 41 assists for him. Shea Theodore, also 41 assists, 48 total points. Wow. Tomas Hertl is third on the team in scoring with 27 goals. It ties the team lead in goals. 28 assists, 55 points. He's a -6, though, which is lame. When you consider Eichel's a +26. Wow. Mark Stone's a +18. Shea Theodore is a +10. Ivan Barbashev is a +20. That's pretty good. +20 with 19 goals and 23 assists. Noah Hannafin, didn't he play for the Flames? Pretty sure he did. Pretty sure. Everybody's played for Calgary, right? yeah, he was there for years. Good player. Solid. 48-point kind of guy. Nice. Victor Olofsson, the former, what are they called? The Nashville Predators. Is Brandon Sutt on Vegas Golden Knights? I think yeah, he's on Vegas. I'm sorry. I remember when I thought he was on Colorado. There's that same grin. God, that guy. He's actually been good for Vegas. 5 goals, 3 assists in 15 games. Yep, yeah, he was traded along the course of time. Raphael Lavoie, he's only played in 9 games anyway. But, yeah, I know players get hurt, and it's a shame. Vegas is pretty good, but they've been struggling late. They got Boston tonight, I believe. Yeah, 9 p.m. in Las Vegas. Maybe put that on your ESPN Plus if you have it, and see how the Vegas Golden Knights do. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to see them struggle like that. Usually they're not this bad. First place in the Pacific still, as they've definitely been the kings of the Pacific, unless it's the LA Kings, the last several years. Or the Edmonton Oilers, of course. They're always lurking, and I still think they win the Cup in the end. It'd be nice to see Edmonton finally end the Canadian drought, even though a lot of us have enjoyed kind of teasing Canada about that forever. But I don't know. I mean, it's not like, Canada owns the U.S. because they won the Stanley Cup. No, they don't own the U.S. because they won the Stanley Cup. It's taken 30-some years. I mean, there's a lot of good Canadian hockey teams. And, yeah, just win the Cup already, and I wouldn't be too offended if they did. Aiden Hill, 2.54 goals against, 4 shutouts on the year. Obviously been wonderful, generally speaking, for Vegas since coming there years ago, helping them win the Cup. Ilya Samsonov, the veteran, 15-9 on the year, 2.81 goals against average, 2 shutouts. Save percentage of 88.9, though. That's not too great. Aiden Hill, if I didn't mention, 90.7 for the save percentage, 24-11 on la saison. So, I would favor Vegas in this one, but I think the Wild win this game. I think the Wild prevent a sweep. I think they prevent a sweep. I mean, Vegas has not been playing so great. Yes, they've owned us this year, but I don't know. They're not playing so hot right now. And you figure the Wild come back with a better performance after getting beat by the Stars. 3-2. 3-2 win by the Minnesota Wild over the Vegas Golden Knights. The most likely guy to score is going to be, I'm going to step out in faith, a healthy Marco Rossi will score in this game. Marco Rossi will score in this game, and the Minnesota Wild have a 2-1 week in this fairly tough stretch, and then we'll see what happens versus the Washington Capitals and beyond as we head into the final days of March and into April already. Wow. Spring is here. Spring is here. Just like they say in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game for the NES. Not in the arcade, not the actual arcade game, because that part of that level doesn't exist in the arcade version, the real arcade. So, yep, there's that. Minnesota, I'm kind of hopeful. I'm kind of being optimistic. I'm probably being full of crap at the end of the day because it's not like this team has been playing all that great for quite a while. In fact, that St. Louis game was dog poop. It really was. That was garbage. Anyhow, Merit Huznadinovs, yep, still at 2 goals in 5 games. I had to check because I can. Should I check on Jakub Lauko? He has 2 assists in 5 games. All right, so there you go. Maybe they work together on those. I don't know. I didn't watch that closely to see who factored in on those. Maybe I should have. Excuse me. So let's look at those, what are they called? The Iowa Wild. Damn it, get that thing out of here. These banners that pop up and you can't click on something. Oh my God, this computer's going nuts. Oh boy. Houston, we have a problem, damn it. Okay, thank you. Jeez. Ugh, that was annoying. Travis Boyd is leading the Iowa Wild in scoring at age 30. Hopkins, Minnesota native. Graham Clark, Waconia, Minnesota. I like Waconia. Only 23 years of age, and he's second on the team in scoring, tied with Hunter Hates, who's age 20. So that's kind of cool. Like Hunter Hates' progress. Only 20 years of age to be third on the team in scoring. It's not like he's a point a game, but 53 games, 18 goals to lead the club. That's kind of cool. Now, we all know pretty much, I mean, if Liam Ogren was there for, 40 games, 50 games, whatever, he would probably have the most goals and most points. Let's just be honest. He probably would be. But that's okay. I'm glad Liam Ogren's had action up in Minnesota. So I'm very glad about that. And Liam Ogren in 29 games is even in Iowa. And, of course, since being sent down, since he was sent down for a stretch there, he'd been red hot. 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points. He was quiet for a couple games and then had some multi-point games. And great job, man. But now back with Minnesota, and he was able to score versus Seattle. There. Brandon Gauntz has been up with the Minnesota Wild, minus 15 with Iowa, though. Jeez. Caden Bankier is worst on the team with a minus 20. 22 points in 54 games, but a minus 20 for the White Rock, British Columbia native, 21 years of age. Spacek, 21 years of age. That'd be David Spacek, minus 14. 26 points, though. That's awesome. He's been very productive offensively. Minus 14, it kind of is what it is. They've not been that great, Iowa. They're not as bad as last year, but how could they be? I mean, they were putrid last year. They weren't just bad. They were horrendous. And Spacek is progressing offensively, and he is only 21 years of age. Again, born in Columbus, Ohio. His father did play for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Michael Milne, minus 18. Yuck. Strong start to the year, but has been pretty quiet. 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points, 54 games. Ouch. Ryan Sandelin sounds awfully familiar to the Scott Sandelin guy. I can't imagine why. Hermantown, Minnesota. Can't imagine why that would be close to Duluth or anything. I'm not hinting at anything, am I? No. Plus one. 7 goals, 8 assists in 15 games. So definitely a disciplined player. Can't imagine why that would be. Carson Lambos. Yes, he's the son of a hockey coach. Yes, a very well-known one. Carson Lambos, 4 goals, 10 assists. Minus 3, which is actually very respectable. Again, he's been disciplined as Carson Lambos, the Winnipeg, Manitoba native, basically just out of Minnesota here, just north of us. 14 points in 54 games, not sexy numbers, but minus 3, that's good. It's respectable. David Juracek, still 6 total assists, and that's it. 26 games, minus 2, which isn't that bad. Ryan O'Rourke is at 8 points in 45 games, -9. You know, again, way better than last year in terms of the whole plus-minus thing. And believe me, plus-minus does mean something. Where is he? Wallstedt. 3.61 goals against average, 9 wins, 12 losses. Save percentage, 88.2. Still a little scary, and I can understand why Teresa's a bit concerned. Yes, because I know Teresa on the Teresa's this podcast. I'm sure Derek's concerned as well, but Teresa's very concerned from what I remember hearing, and yeah, it's not been good. Jack Pert, 39 games, 3 points, but a -1, so not exciting at all. Kind of like Vladislav Benešek numbers. Like, Vladislav Benešek scored? Did lightning strike somewhere? Did lightning strike this like target we put on the sidewalk? Oh my God, Benešek scored. That's kind of what it's like with Jack Pert. But it's not trying to be a jerk. He just doesn't score much. That's all. But he's a -1 as well. Like Benešek was a stay-at-home, solid defenseman. Never going to be great, but he was solid. Hopefully Pert can get a little beyond Vladislav Benešek's level. Benešek was pretty boring. Going way back to the beginning of the Minnesota Wild. Yes, I remember Ladislav Benešek. How can you forget Ladislav Benešek? I mean, geez. Come on. Just kidding. Jimmy Clark. Okay, why am I even looking at him? Yeah, Gophers are not playing right now. They're waiting until the NCAA tournament, and we don't know yet. So let the stupid Big Ten tournament come to an end, and we can talk about college hockey a little more. Yeah, it's so much fun waiting for that. It's so much fun. Pionk. Yep, Duluth, 26 points. I think those are final statistics there. +1 on the year. Good job. Schlemel, of course, they're national champion contenders, unfortunately. +13 for Charlie Schlemel. No, I do not like Michigan State. I just don't. Sorry. Their basketball team annoys the bleep out of me. I used to I am so done with, what's his name? Tom Izzo. God, I hate screamer coaches. It's like, shut up, go away. I hate screamer type coaches. I used to like Tom Izzo, and then it's like, his bit got old, man. So it's like Michigan State, anything, go away. Riley Height. Yeah, he had a huge week. Didn't he have like 1 goal and like 6 assists or something? He was crazy. 87 points now, and he's up to +21. All right, Riley, trying to catch up to last year's pace. Still down by 40? Or is that 30? That'd be... I can't add anymore. That is 30. Yep, that's 30 points. Still down by 30 points from last year, and he's got to score... If he gets to play 66 games this year, he needs 30 points to tie last year's point total. Bummer. Well, again, it is what it is. I don't know what to say about that, unfortunately. Kumpalainen, yep, Liga, 16 points, 8 goals, 8 assists in 48 games. Good for him, I suppose. You know, nothing too exciting. Stevie Leskovar. Of course, these are, again, prospects. He scored a goal. Good for him. 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. 70 penalty minutes, but a +7 for the Brampton Steelheads. Those saltwater rainbow trouts. That's what a steelhead is. Isn't that cool? Chase Woodsky, 3.35 goals against average. 17 wins, 23 losses anyway. 89.6 save percentage. Trying to get to that big 9-0, which would be great. But not quite there yet. So Yanni, of course, yeah, mostly in the minors and such. Kiviharu, he has 1 point in 9 games, otherwise in the pros. Kiviharu, 52 games, still at 16 points, +3. Yep, obviously Aaron Kiviharu, still only 19 years of age as of January 25th. Very young player. Ryder Ritchie, again, nice step forward from last year. Not a giant step, but a step forward from last year. Especially in the goals department. Went from 19 to 28. Very impressive, actually, to say the least. 32 assists versus 25, and then 60 points versus 44. So I'd say that's a pretty solid step forward. Giant step forward is the -1 becoming a +16. So that does help to be on a better team as well. Ryder Ritchie looking good. Steve William apparently is a candidate for the Hobey Baker Award. Let's see if he gets it. Why didn't he get it last year? I don't know, but maybe it's some kind of eligibility thing. 36 games, again, the regular season is over. 10 goals, 32 assists, 52 points. And he, again, is a Hobey Baker Award candidate. Good luck to Steve William, the top prospect in Minnesota Wild system. And will more than likely be on the blue line very soon. Very soon. We'll see how that all turns out. Not too long from now, we'll be seeing Steve Buiam wearing Christmas colors or North Star colors, respectively. We'll see how that turns out. So with that, we're going to take ourselves a quick break and return for fan interaction right after this.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And we are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 3. I think my clock management is better than last week. At least it sure appears that way. Thank God. Oh, last week I was like, oh my God, I'm running out of time. Shoot, because I have to go to work. Isn't that exciting? That's the joys of being a second shift person. I mean, I could podcast in the morning, but then, oh crap, I got to get to work. Where, it's like Derek and the Crease podcast usually is on like Saturday afternoon, I think, or, Sunday afternoon, one of the two weekends type of thing. It's fun stuff. I generally don't podcast on the weekends, but, well, it depends on what's going on, I guess. Well, if it's Purple Mafia, I have no bleeping choice. Sunday nights with that one. Timberwolves Explosion's always Friday morning. That's a fun one. And obviously the other shows I do are pretty random. Video Game Flashback is, like mornings or whatever when I have time to do little bits and pieces of it here and there. Sorry, choking on celery salt. That's great. Oh, that was nice. Anyhow, at Brave the Wild, still hurting. At Brave the Wild is the Twitter account. Okay, temporarily switching from tomato juice to this. Look, what's this? Protein 2.0. Great. This is delicious. Wow, I just got it from the grocery store today for the first time. I rarely go anywhere when I'm going to podcast in the morning, so it's a miracle my time management is better. That's delicious. So a free plug for Protein 2.0. Check it out. It's the grape one. Delicious. Free plug for you, Protein 2.0. Now, be a sponsor, dang it. Please. Please. Are they local? Elk Grove Village. Okay. Sure. Whatever they are, it's delicious. Anyhow, especially the grape one. I don't know. 'Cause I like the taste of grape. Man, that's good. Anyway, hashtag BTWMN to keep things organized. So whenever you comment on the show, hashtag BTWMN, it really helps. It keeps things organized. It's awesome. What was going on here? So what started this? Okay, Derek was saying observation from tonight's game versus the Rangers. Yep. The bad Matt Boldy chose to take the night off and was mostly a non-factor. Wild needed to earn a win against another team with its own struggles against the Rangers and couldn't get it done. Brazu Nyquist, question mark, like what the hell are you, what's the point of this nonsense? I was saying this team looks so finished, it's disgusting. Derek responded with the lack of urgency and comfortable play. Yep, comfortable play by number 12 and number 23 is rather troubling. Both should have easily passed up 97's goal total by now. This team needs them to score and prove they can step up. Yeah. Fudge. I mean, yeah, they've been terrible since the, since they, and then Boldy finally had a 2-goal game like a week later practically. Way after this tweet. Yeah, way after. Finally, Boldy did something. Yeah, and Brazier and Nyquist. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Awful. Always great thought there. Yep, and I made a goofy comment here. What was I? Yeah, and I also said, this is becoming not the worst, but the stupidest trade deadline in Wild history. Derek responded with, nah, the Chris Simon trade was worse. But I was saying, like, stupid, though. Yeah, not worse, but stupid. Yeah, Chris Simon trade was worse. And in that trade, you could at least see what the team was trying to do. Like, trying to get bigger, stronger, whatever, and for the playoffs. This one was somewhere between going through the motions and aimless. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, yes. Going through the motions and aimless. Yeah, I think so. Like the Brazier, what is that? And Nyquist is just, it looks like he's kind of toast. He hadn't done anything after a great season in Nashville last year, and then done jack bleep this year. Okay, Protein 02 is from, Protein 02 is from Illinois. Okay, that's where Elk Grove Village is. For some reason, it sounded like Minnesota. It says IL. Anyhow, well, you guys did a great job on this over there in Illinois. Derek has a poll out saying if the Minnesota Wild miss the playoffs or stumble into it and get bounced out in the first round, should Wild GM Bill Guerin be on the hot seat? Four answers are: yes, the club is flawed. Maybe, not sure. No, not until the summer. Never. You trust? Yeah, never. I trust Billy G. Whatever. Well, first place is the one that I put the check mark for. It does have 2 days left. It's in first place right now. Yes, the club is flawed. Because they are. Second place, never. They trust Billy Guerin. Wow, second place, huh? Third place, no, not until this summer. Okay. And then maybe, not sure yet, is in dead last at 14.2. But still, the votes are being spread around, and there's a lot of votes. So I'm sure they'll be happy to talk about that on the next episode, for sure. But, man, so then I was saying, thoughts, everyone, please join in if you can. Hey, everybody! Okay, just kidding. The Derek Felska lightning round hath returned. Da. Let's go. I don't do the LFG thing. It's kind of, I don't know, I'm a little too old for that. But anyhow, if you had to guess, what is Bill Guerin's actual plan for this team? Is there a disconnect between him and Judd Brackett with the kinds of players we draft compared to the kinds of players Guerin seems to favor and want? It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? I'm seeing skill players with promising futures being drafted, for the most part. Not all of them, obviously, but for the most part, yes. You're seeing skilled players with a positive future. And then we're signing guys that are just kind of, gritty guys. It sounds like going back to passionate, gritty players, going back to what's-his-face, Dumpster Doug-ish. Dumpster Doug when it comes to free agency. So it's extremely confusing. Nyquist, to be fair, again, had some scoring chances versus Seattle and possibly setting up scoring chances, but none of them materialized. So it does seem like something's not adding up. Like Brazier, does Brazier sound like somebody Judd Brackett would want on the team? Probably not. Does Nyquist? Yeah, 5 years ago, yeah. 2 years ago, yeah. Now, no. Not really, but then again, who knows? What's the actual plan? We're here to bleeping win. And? We're here to bleeping win. And? Or as Michael Russo might say, You know how Michael Russo does that? he's not trying to be rude, he's just, just kind of answering, like, yeah. Just kind of responding without being argumentative. When Risebrow, when Bill Guerin was getting very testy in the recent press conference. Very testy, and basically Russo was, Like, hey, we're not here to make you guys happy, to give you guys a story. We're here to build a team. Anyhow, it's, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they're going on the same... It doesn't seem like they're on the same page and going in the same direction. It's a little weird. I don't know. It's like, it's just we're here to win, damn it. So I guess signing Hartman and guys like that to no move clause type of deals. I just don't understand. I have no idea what kind of plan that even is. Just, it's kind of a semi-win now with players that aren't that good. I guess. It's like the Phoenix Suns, basically. Like, what are they doing? What are the Phoenix Suns doing? And I think fans have been asking that for about 50 years over there in Phoenix. Except for the Barkley years when, the first year anyway, when they were extremely good and red hot. But, yeah, it lasted like it usually does, a year or two, when the Suns get hot and then they vanish off the face of the earth. Anyhow, Derek continuing, saying, Is Rosie and Boldy's relative quietude on the score sheet more a result of being better defended against, or simply being worn out from overuse? Choose one or the other. Yep, so it has to be gun to the head type of thing. being defended against, or simply being worn out from overuse? Well, in Faber's case, definitely worn out from overuse. Faber, I'll say up. So I'm just throwing him in the hat here. Faber, worn out from overuse. I wouldn't doubt. So, a gun to my head, they're probably being better defended against because they're the two guys. They are the guys. I mean, there's not much else to really worry about. Like, are you terrified of Foligno and Hartman and stuff like that? See, now Hartman's finally doing something probably because of that. So that's, yes. So gun to the head, I will say better defended against, where Faber definitely simply being worn out from overuse, since he's like the other kind of star player on the roster right now. Worn out from overuse in Faber's case. So, yep. So Jay Bushy's got the Kirby Puckett role here. Batting third. Jay Bushy jumps into the lightning round and takes over for one quick question. I always have fun with baseball with Jay Bushy. Imagine him as like the Dan Gladden or the Greg Gagne or whatever. Kirby Puckett role. Third. The PK is doing better. Do you think it continues? I hope so. I hope so. I never trust it, but I hope so. Like I'll say probably not. Again, gun to my head. Like if I'm giving half-ass in-between answers, I hope I'm not doing that, but just in case, I'll say probably not. It's like you'd like to believe it, but they're 30th. So it's like I'll believe it when I see it, so I'll say probably not. Next, so got back to fourth here with Kent Herbeck coming up to play. Derek's got his bat here, wearing number 14 here, after making an awesome sliding catch to end the previous inning that Kent used to do. Herbie used to do, is more like it. Now that we've had a few games to reflect, do you think the Minnesota Wild got any better in any visible way with their trade deadline moves? No. Nope. Absolutely no. And I'm sure that's probably what you're thinking as well. Now that we've had a few days to reflect, do you think we got any better? It's like, no. Nyquist provides basically nothing. Like, occasionally he'll chip in a point or two. Like, he'll chip in an assist. Not two, but yeah, occasionally he'll chip in an assist because he's a good passer, and he's got skill. But I don't know if his timing is off or what it is. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's just a millistep slower. Maybe his hands are slower as well. Just something is slower about Nyquist compared to what he used to be. Something is just a tiny bit off. Now that I made that point, probably rehashed it about 50 times. Yeah. And then Brezu does literally nothing for me. Like, why? Why? You know what I mean? What's the point? What are we doing exactly? 6 games, -1. Epic stuff, man. It's just epic stuff. See, did you notice I didn't even mention Brazier once? At least Nyquist I mentioned a teeny bit, particularly in the Seattle game where you saw chances that didn't lead to a whole lot. Oh, he did get an assist, didn't he? Nyquist did manage an assist in that Seattle game. It's just, so, yeah, I don't mean to be a total jerk about it, but Brazier just, again, does nothing for me. How many minutes did he play versus Seattle? 12:38. Okay, that's probably the most you're ever going to get. I don't know. I just the Brazy move again, as Michael Russo used to say about Paul Fenton, it makes no sense, or it made no sense. ... Two ... dots. Bordering each other. It made no sense. Like when we picked up, what was his name? Tony Botetto or something. Was it Tony Botetto? Anthony Botetto? Yeah, it made no sense because it put the Wild in like a really weird, precarious situation with the cap, where we had to send a player down. It was so stupid. And that's kind of what this Brazier move feels like. Like, it's not as stupid in terms of screwing up the cap necessarily, but it doesn't do us anything. What's the point? Okay, anyhow. I don't know. Next, batting fifth. Okay, just kidding. Yep, Chili Davis. Here we go. 91 Twins on the mind here because I want a championship, damn it. Do you think the Minnesota Wild have any chance to win a playoff series without number 97? Extremely unlikely. In fact, we have number 1 with 97, so I'll say no chance. I don't think they have a chance in wherever. A rat's chance in hell, a rat's chance in a room full of cats, that kind of thing. But we're going to go after that cheese. Yep, that's a Secret of Evermore line. A rat's chance in a room full of cats. I don't think so, no. I'm dinking around, sorry, so we'll continue. Yep. Should Wild fans be concerned about David Jiricek and his development? Since the team called him up, he's been scratched every game, and since the team isn't practicing while trying to rest, he hasn't had the benefit of team practices either. What's up with that? Yeah, that is weird. That part I didn't know. So actually, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. Maybe I've been missing out on stuff, and I apologize. He hasn't had the benefit of team practices either. I'm sure that's been out there, but I apologize. I missed that part, and I apologize. Isn't that messed up? So yes, I think Wild fans should be a little concerned that we gave up a pretty good haul for him, didn't we? And I don't know. He was kind of disappointing in Columbus. It's not like he was this, like, oh my God, if you want him, you better bring in the Brinks truck for him. I don't know. You're seeing the Matt Dumba like skill that was, like pre-pectoral injury type of thing with the skating and the scoring ability. That's what's exciting about David Jiricek. Obviously, the defensive side is not so great, like Dumba at the time. Whereas later on, he had to focus defensively to even be in the NHL anymore. Because if you can't provide offense and your defense sucks, well, good luck in the ECHL, buddy, or AHL at very least. But David Jiricek, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think. It is alarming. It is a little bit alarming, and I don't know. It's a combination of like we have all these guys under contract. There's that combined with I don't know. I don't think he has taken a step forward. I don't think he has. So we're gonna have to hope and pray that next season he'll take that step forward. But then the other thing is, you're absolutely making a roster spot for Zebullion. So what do we do with Jiricek? You traded some assets for him. You didn't just you didn't trade a second round pick for David Jiricek. You traded a lot. Like second round pick, is pretty effing expensive for Gustav Nyquist's production. But Jiricek, it was much more than that. And I know you can't expect something like right away, but ooh boy, I'm concerned. Now that I've babbled a little bit on that one, this one generated a little bit of something. This was me jumping in. I'm so surprised that Trenton did not score on the breakaway. Not. Derek responded with, it almost feels wrong to say it was a shot on goal since he simply lost the puck. Yeah, and he did. I was saying it's so pathetic and fitting. Okay, I was going to see. There was a... TJ says that was a mean tweet. That was funny. I think we're following each other. He has the Timberwolves logo. Check out Timberwolves Explosion, TJ, if you'd like. Yep, I do a Timberwolves podcast. In case you're listening to this show, maybe I'll follow him and I'll get his attention. I was saying it had to be done. That was a mean tweet. Yep, I kind of know where that's leaning towards. Just imagine. Okay, yep, that was just us. Okay, there's one last person. That's Steve. There he is. Steve Miller says, depth scoring isn't something Silly Billy cares much about, yeah? Yep, I feel you there. I do. And then Derek with the Greg Gagne jumping in to get that big base hit there in the second or third inning, batting ninth. It almost feels wrong. Okay, yeah, that's the same one. Okay, so that is it. Yep. So I guess I was Gagne. No, Derek was Gagne officially, or Brand Steve, however you want to look at it. So with that said, I really thank all of you so much for being involved with this show. I appreciate it. I could probably be better about tweeting out stuff during the week, but I appreciate that you guys do respond. That is awesome. I really do. I really appreciate it. I could probably put out some more polls. Like last week was pretty active. Even just one poll a week makes a big difference. So, and it's fun, and Derek obviously has capitalized on that, and it's definitely helping his show. The show is wonderful. So, at Crease Assist, or, at Crease and Assist is the Twitter. Crease Assist is the podcast. Check it out. Derek, Teresa, and Kalisha, great job covering the Minnesota Wild, the team, the management, the prospects, and all of that. And I know every fan is frustrated with their general manager at times, but I don't know. In Minnesota, it seems to be on another level. Except for Kwesi and Adolfo-Mensah. Keep it up, Kwesi. Kwesi's cooking, as they say. Purple Mafia, if you want to check that out for the epic Minnesota Vikings free agency. Still waiting on the second quarterback. It does appear that J.J. McCarthy's number one. and that who knows, is going to be Joe Flacco or whatever. We're always curious who's going to be that veteran that's going to come in and, kind of help and such, help develop J.J. McCarthy as he becomes the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Heck yes, it's going to be fun. Huge shout-outs, of course, to MNW Young Guns / MNW Prospects. Absolutely love you guys. Pavel Bennett, Justin Bakke, amazing. Love you guys. I just love the way we cover the, especially you guys. You cover the prospects and keep up with things. Twitter, Facebook, amazing. And you're always looking for that next player that can make that huge difference. And it's so much fun. The prospect of the week and such. Liam Ogren got it this week. It was voted unanimous, if I remember correctly, because he was awesome. Even though Riley Heidt did have a 6-assist week, that was awesome too. So nice to see Riley Heidt kind of catching up a little bit to last year's pace, as he got quite a phenomenal year in the WHL last season. Huge shout out also to Minnesota Wild Global. Scott Cavendish leading the way there. Pavel Vanet's a part of that. Justin Bakke as well. But also you want to talk about Kathy Main, David and Chance Kostick, Chad Walski, Michael Fick, David Abraham, many others. Awesome page. And then, of course, Patrick Turner, Minnesota Wild Nation. Also a Florida fan. He's from Florida, but, he likes the Wild and the Florida Panthers, as does a certain guy who lives in Florida by the name of Mario Andretti, who I believe still follows Brave the Wild. I remember being just shocked, like, oh my God, he's a Minnesota Wild fan. And he was in the Wild's locker room. Was that last spring or was that this fall? I was just like, oh my God, it's 100% real. It's not just... I almost fainted. Like, Mario Andretti follows Brave the Wild. Mario Andretti. It's just unbelievable. Every time I look at that, I'm like, oh my God. Mario Andretti. There's certain things that happen, and you just can't believe it, and that's one of them. That's like lightning striking, it's just, wow, And just in case you're listening, Mario, I salute you. You're awesome. You really are. Yep. I think I'm guessing. Yeah, he's in Florida. Yeah, it even says it, Nazareth, Florida. No, Pennsylvania is where he's from, but I believe he lives in Florida. Yeah. If you don't know who Mario Andretti is, oh my God, you better. Legendary IndyCar driver, and even Michael Andretti was pretty awesome in the 80s and 90s. That's his son. Man, I remember when I was like, it said Mario Andretti followed you. I'm like, oh yeah, right. It's just something like, oh my God, it's real. No, that's impossible. It's like, it does feel impossible because I'm just a guy from Golden Valley who, I've been doing Brave the Wild forever, but I'm not much of a name in this town, unfortunately. I wish I was, but it's an incredible honor when something like that happens, and you just never know sometimes. Sorry I got into that so long, but sometimes it's just, you reflect on things like that, and you're just blown away. Once in a blue moon, cool things happen like that. With that said, I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Hope the Minnesota Wild can survive and guys can come back healthy. I'm sorry, Mario, that this team has been so damn frustrating. I hope we can bring a Stanley Cup to you someday, Mario. I really do. Super Mario Andretti. I hope so. And I mean that full sincerity. With that said, and of course all of us fans that have been North Star fans, or maybe you just grew up as a Wild fan because you're too young, to be a North Star fan. Hey, hope the Minnesota Wild can deliver you a Stanley Cup too. With all my heart and soul. I hope so. With that said, have yourself a wonderful week. Take care, and we'll be back next Thursday.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.